Oh, hello, and welcome to Dente, Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the E stands for evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta, and be critically silly doing it. Tonight we have Clever. So, Clever is by Provider92. It's on Creepypasta.wikia, so you can check it out there if you'd like. And then I suppose we'll just dive into the rundown. Mm-hmm. So, Nair A. Tor, since we don't get a full name or anything like that, is coming home from a late night at work in a city that's dreary and raining. Nair encounters a hooded man who will grant them a wish. Nair believes themselves to be genre savvy and clever, credits, and like, okay, well, this guy's nuts, and I'm just good, like, nothing's gonna come of it. Or this is going to be some kind of, like, devil's bargain kind of thing, and, like, it's going to be twisted on me. Because I've seen The Wishmaster. I've seen a few movies like this. And asks for a single $1. Hooded man manifests $1 out of thin air and gives it to Nair before vanishing himself. Over the next week, Nair is driven insane about all the missed opportunities of the wish. On the weekend, he goes into his work, and already aggravated and despising of his boss, who is also in the office, goes to murder him, as well as his secretary, who the boss is having an affair with. After a while of just joyfully lounging in the boss's chair and daydreaming, this being his actual wish, being the boss, that is, he hears sirens and goes out to the roof with his boss's twitching body to see police and SWAT cars in the streets below. He tosses his boss over and down the 16 floors of the office, pulls the $1 out, rips it up, and leaps them himself as the SWAT breaks down the roof exit door. Before dying themselves from the fall, Nair sees the hooded man with glowing red eyes in the crowd below him, waiting to catch him. And Nair reminisces about not being as clever as the devil. Fiend. So, yeah, that was the rundown. Mm-hmm. Did I miss anything?
No, that's pretty...
Not really.
Cool.
Pretty much sums it up.
Yep. So, I guess we move on to everyone tolerates the grammar inquisitions at this point. It was dark. Dreary. Well, Mikey's going to have a field day with this one.
Yeah.
Just right at the start. Do you have a good story?
Yeah, well, it's only 3 sentences.
Might as well do it now.
And now, an It story with Mikey. The E stands for evil. Take it away.
It was dark. It gingerly floated down into my cupped hands. It could have been the happiest I'd ever been, as far as I could remember.
Really, it's just about a nice cup of coffee being spilled into his hand and him, like, loving the pain.
It's possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, or just something floating into his hands that he just made him happy.
Yeah.
It has to be something that's dark, though.
Mm-hmm. And to segue with that, my boss, still buttoning his pants up, tried the old trick of yelling at me and telling me I was fired to get me stop advancing. I believe you want to get me to stop advancing. Mm-hmm. And that's my grammar inquisitions. So, Mike, what do you got continuing on?
I have 4 front butts.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now for Mikey's Conjunction Junction.
But it was no crazy person. But nothing has happened. But I had $1. But I could see the fear in his eyes.
Okay. Okay. I just like, yeah. Okay.
So the devil's scared of him?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's all I have for Grammar Inquisition.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I didn't have any.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There's no point writing down the start because I knew you guys would be.
Oh, they got this. They got this. Yeah, that was basically it. All right, then I guess we'll move on to actual thoughts. So, concerning the image, and the image, if you haven't checked out the Creepypasta.wikia, which shame on you, but it's a photo, like a black and white photo, I think, of a night street, like a rainy night street, basically in a city, or like a nicer part of a city or something like that. It's kind of it has a visualization of like dreariness and such, much like the beginning of the story, but the image doesn't really need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of only does that. Like it only just kind of interprets the beginning of the story. It doesn't really represent the rest of the story at all.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I was kind of thrown off from the get-go, because I saw that okay, so it's gonna have something to do with this rain and dreariness. No, that's only like a sentence and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a sentence of describing the atmosphere of that scene.
It's two sentences actually, because sentence one was it was dark, and sentence two was dreary.
But then there was also the rain and how it was like you could get lost in it and not see somebody coming at you and stuff like that. But that's all that's all that really ever entails to like that. And then it goes to the hooded figure giving him a wish, and then we're dealing with the wish for the rest of the story.
Yeah, if you just change the first paragraph to be it was a nice happy day, the sun was out and everything, but the rest of the story could have been exactly the same. Because it didn't have any influence on the story.
Exactly. The photo could honestly have been an open hand with $1. And that could have been just as effective. That would have been more, I think, appropriate, personally. Just if you're going to want to add a photo to the story, use a photo like that. But just otherwise, I just didn't feel like the story needed that photo at all, because we got the description of the opening scene from the words. So, and on to the next one. I will grant you one wish. I laughed to myself, crazy person or not. I knew how these stories always went. Make wish, granted in a horrifying way, wisher dies. Simple as that. I'd read Monkey's Paw. I'd seen Wishmaster. I wouldn't be so carelessly stupid. I thought myself clever when I made my wish, so innocuous that any plan on it would be downright foolish. And my comment to that was just oh, we have a genre-savvy player in the game now, don't we? And then the next sentence, though, I wish for $1. You idiot! Have fun being poor. At least that was my initial thought, and then I was kind of pleasantly surprised after that wasn't the direction it went, because I thought for sure I want $1. I was all right, that is your only $1.
That's exactly what I thought was going to happen.
Right.
Too. You have $1 to your name. You can never have more than $1.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just well, you stupid piece.
As soon as he said I came up with a plan that it can never backfire on me, I immediately thought of that way it could backfire.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the next one is actually kind of going back, or going into how the direction changed. I didn't sleep that night. Hell, I didn't sleep for the next week. How could I? Every missed opportunity, embarrassing moment in my past, anything I wanted to change just zipped through my mind. And to this, I kind of think this was an interesting angle to take for the Wishmaster scenario. Have the wish granted person go mad with the missed opportunities. So I can admire the direction, the kind of the creative direction it went for this. Because again, it's this is, he says in the story, I've read Monkey's Paw. I've seen Wishmaster. It's a very common trope of the evil genie twisting your wish upon on you.
Twisted Metal. The entire series of Twisted Metal. That's exactly the same. Yeah.
Leprechaun's the same. Yeah.
Does Leprechaun do that?
Yeah, Leprechaun he'll do you'll wish for something from him, and he'll twist it on you. The one girl wishes of being I think really pretty some of the showgirls, and basically she starts her lips and boobs and so start bloating like Botox, but even more to the point where they just explode.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because at least that's from the one where he's in Las Vegas. There's basically all the wishes are thrown against turned against the people who make a wish. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I can actually really commend this story for like having that direction because I was not anticipating it. And then moving on to the next quote I have. My last thought before I showered the ground with my guts, my only clear thought in the entire past week was that the devil was far more clever than I. I mean, okay, damn, this was a tight and succinct creepypasta. I think the only improvement I can really offer for this story is for it to be a little bit longer. Like, have a little bit more going on in that week of anxiety. Like, have more things, like, have him, like, have it interrupt his life. Like, have him
it's just kind of
through
glossed over.
Yeah, exactly. Like it just, like, I feel like you could have, like, some scenes where, like, the anxiety and, like, the madness creeping in from, like, all the missed opportunities starts, like, kind of, or even paranoia of it starts creeping in and affecting his day-to-day life. And maybe even, like, have the hooded man like pop up like here and there, like you start seeing him like elsewhere, like watching him, like kind of watching the show basically.
And every time he tries to get to him, a bus goes in the way and he's gone or whatever.
Exactly, yeah. Or like a person passes, or like he thought he saw him in a crowd, and then like next time he looks, it's just another person.
Yeah.
I just feel like there could be a little bit more meat on the bones here, because otherwise, like it's a mini pasta. Like it's pretty short, and it's pretty like it gets to the point, and like the plot like pretty good. Well, I feel like the only improvement I could offer would be to give it more, but that's just from my angle of it. Like trying to find an angle of attack for it.
Even your problem with the picture, like removing that won't make it better or worse.
Yeah, no, not really. Like the only thing is that like that the photo to me, like the big issue for me for the photo is that it kind of misdirects you from what you're getting into. And I don't know if that could be that's not always a bad thing. Because sometimes like photos for creepypastas kind of spoil like what you're expecting.
I mean, some of the creepypastas we've read, the pictures have nothing to do with anything in the story ever.
Yeah.
At least this has something to do with it.
That the reader, like us going in without any context, like maybe it might have had some kind of context that personally to the writer that maybe we just didn't get.
Yeah,
like that's sometimes the case. Like, yeah, because I know a couple that I think you're talking about. Like, it was just like, why is this like what's this a photo of? Like, why is this here? Like, but there obviously had some kind of meaning to the author to put it there. So, yeah, that's my actual thoughts, guys. So, Mikey, what do you got?
All right. So I enjoyed the slow descent into madness.
Did we just establish there's a quick descent into madness?
Well, I mean, it was slow, but it was paraphrased.
Until the point where it escalates quickly with the deaths.
Yeah, like I feel like if we'd had a few more like segments in that week, it would have maybe made that pacing suddenly a little bit less like expeditious.
Yeah, and sort of establish how much you hate the boss and stuff like that.
Yeah, like maybe his like not just like show don't tell, like because he says like that his boss like hates him and stuff like that, and like or cause like basically bullies him at work. So like have that happen during the week as he's like distracted with all the thoughts of like opportunities.
Yeah, so we can actually get to know the boss and understand why.
Yeah,
aside from just him saying it.
Yeah, just off commenting. It's like, oh, he's here, bumping his secretary as his wife with 2 kids is at home. Like thinking that he's like it just goes on and on. Like just telling us like all this the boss's situation. It's like you should really have like given us a scene of that during the week.
Yeah. And the main reason I sort of like the madness is because everyone at some point has questioned what if.
Yeah.
For
constantly.
A lot of different scenarios. Like,
yeah, like regret is like a hell of a thing sometimes.
Hindsight's 20/20, all that.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's partially why I think it works so well.
Yeah.
So, my next thought here is just in regards to the deaths. Like, to me,
stapler.
it felt like the I think example at Creepypasta.com or Wiki is like dead things are creepy, yo, or killing.
Oh yeah, gratuitous like violence.
Yeah, that's creepy. And it's like,
yeah, I mean, like, I can understand. I feel like length would have helped, like alleviate this, because like we would have gotten some more satisfaction. Like it would have been a little bit more cathartic, both for the character and like maybe for some of the readers, to like know just how much of an asshole this boss was before the guy goes off. Because at this point, like we don't have any emotional tie to either the victim or the killer. Mm-hmm. We're just like we don't know. Like, is he really justified? Is he not? Like, I mean, yeah, he's adulterating. Like the boss is adulterating with his secretary, but like, is that enough to like have him be killed like brutally and in the brutal fashion he is in the story? Like, I feel again, kind of just repeating myself. More length would have given us more connection to these characters before they died or before they were like extinguished.
Yeah, because all we have is his word. So for all we know, him as a boss, he could be a normal boss.
Yeah,
but Nair could just be always having a bad day. So the boss comes in, and it's like, "How are you, Nair?" It's like, "Oh, fuck you," for no reason,
Or even like, yeah, exactly. And like again, adultery. I'm not like adultering is a shitty like crime kind of thing.
Yeah,
not excusing that at all, but like maybe that's not even the case. Maybe that's just all. For all we know, that could all be in the Nair's head. Like this whole scenario, like he's just offing the secretary who's just like going to go get some paperwork.
Yeah, for no reason.
Yeah. Like,
because we don't know how deep his madness has gone with all of this.
Exactly, yeah. Like, we need a little, again, just more meat on the bones.
Mm-hmm. It would actually kind of be more interesting if it showed his normal work life and it was normal. Yeah. There was no adultering. He wasn't an asshole. Yeah, or like, and then, just for no reason, he starts saying that he's an asshole. Yeah. Even though he's not.
The crime report, like, after, like, he falls to his death, like, they comment on, like, stuff that is, like, kind of contrary to his vision, like, his view. Like, yeah, like, the secretary was in to do some extra paperwork. The boss was in because it was a tight week. Like, they had to get some stuff in. And then it also leaves you to, like, was that the truth? Or was he telling the truth of, like, because he's in the know? Like, it kind of gives you that, like, whose side are you on?
But he's also crazy, so...
Exactly, like, so which one do you believe? Like your opinion might be like, oh yeah, no, like, taking it at face value, like, he was, like, this is straight up what happened. Or, like, somebody else might think it's like, well, maybe it wasn't like that. Maybe it was like this. And then that creates conversation. Like, but, like, as it is, like, it's succinct. So it's, like, the plot was... It almost, like... It's almost too... I hate to say this, because I do like this story a lot. But it almost feels too succinct. Because, like...
It's too definite?
It gets to the point way too quickly. Yeah. And, like, in a good way, but also in a bad way. In that, like...
It's only in a bad way because you can see ways to do it better.
Yeah, and it's like, as it is right now, it's said and done, like, bam, like, it is a complete story, and we have very little to say about its grammar. Like, it's not too bad, like, it just needs, like, basically a quick edit. Yeah, just needs more meat. Sorry, we took over your spot again. I apologize.
That's what we did.
It's fine. So my next thought here goes into the critically silly department.
Okay. Yeah.
So I feel like the Canadian version would be hilarious.
Yeah, this is definitely an American one. Yeah, like there are definitely hints in the story that it's American.
Yeah, but
it was a dollar bill.
Yeah, that's what threw me out. Yeah, that was the first thing. It's like, oh yeah, it's oh right, they have bills in America.
Tries to tear the coin in half. It's like, why won't it go?
Yeah, in Canada,
goddamn loony.
No, in Canada, the wish would be, I wish for a loony.
Yeah,
and you could get a crazy person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Drive him crazy.
Or... And this is what I thought of. You would get Loon E, which is a loon that has the letter E.
The E stands for evil?
Evil loon.
Yeah. Also, I was thinking, like, loony is like, ask for a loony. And so, like, he does get a loony, like a coin. But then it also ties into him going nuts because of, like, him, like, all the what ifs. Because suddenly he becomes the loony.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the end, he's literally a loony. He just becomes a giant
No,
coin.
No.
you're silly.
My version of the ending, with the Canadian ending,
Yes.
is the protagonist rocking back and forth saying "I'm sorry" over and over again.
Yeah.
It's a very Canadian thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still murdering everyone?
in a padded cell?
Yeah,
Like, because the SWAT members got him before he jumped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could definitely buy that. And again, and then maybe have like the hooded man be like in the doorway, like looking through the window of the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, well, you asked for a loony, you got one. Yeah, no, I like that. I like part of that. I like the part that you make it better, but not make it worse.
Yeah.
Or make it silly. Like, I like how, like, the again, it just adds on to, like, the kind of karmic justice of these kind of stories.
Mm-hmm. And that's the end of my actual thoughts.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I have left. Or the loony ideas. I like the idea of essentially, like, I want a loony, and then this crazy guy, like, moves in with him immediately.
Yeah.
And, like, he can't get rid of him, but he's actually, like, crazy and trying to kill him or whatever.
Or he slowly starts becoming a loon. Like the bird. Like, it starts, like, transforming, like, over the course of that week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. There's a lot of ways to take it.
In silly ways.
Which are the best ways. So, when it mentions the hooded man at the start, the hooded man approached me in the middle of the night, is what it says.
Yeah.
And to me, it seemed weird, the wording of it, because it's like the hooded man. And it's like, are we supposed to know who that is? It kind of sounds like this person's giving a testimony to a police officer who already knows who the hooded man is. Like, you sit down and it's like, okay, well, the hooded man approached me at this time. Like, it...
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think it might have just been like, I don't know, like... Yeah, it's more of a descriptor of the guy than an actual title, but it's also the title of the guy because we don't have any other name for him other than the devil. But we don't find that's kind of the twist at the end of the story is that he was actually the devil.
Mm-hmm. But also, like, who's he even telling the story to?
Oh, it's honestly it's not a okay. So this is one of those.
He isn't writing it down.
Yeah, he's not writing it down. This is like one of those stories that is just like in the person's head, and we're just like we're gleaning into that space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because he dies. So
yeah, exactly. He's a ghost talking to his cellmate in hell.
no, it's not a ghost story.
I know. But yeah, no, it's one of those stories where like the narrator is not actually writing something down.
Mm-hmm.
So I found the comments for this story were like very polarizing. People either really liked it or really hated it.
Oh, really?
Like thought it was really mediocre and bland, and or like thought it was brilliant. So like I was like going through it's like 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
0 out of 10.
The lamest thing I've like, lame creepypasta. Just take it away.
Take it away.
Like that kind of shit. Like that not exactly that. I'm just like that kind of mentality is what I read a couple times on the comments.
Yeah, well, that's comments for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, my only other note, because I chimed in about my second note, is essentially about him being outsmarted by the devil, and I guess he kind of was, but it was really his own insanity that caused this.
Also, he was really just dumb. No, the insanity spawned after he got the coin. Which
I know, but if he was 100% sane and stable,
yeah,
he wouldn't have gone off the deep end like this for no reason. To the point of murder.
I hear you, but like that could also be the ploy of the devil. Like he's like he thinks he's like, oh, I'm all high and mighty and arrogant, and like I'm going to be clever because I've seen this movie before. I wish for this, and the devil's like, ho, I see what you did there. I'm going to slowly twist you with this, then with this version, because you didn't think about this scenario. Bang.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's like the devil didn't really do anything extra after giving him the money, because the devil could have just been some crazy dude, like an actual dude, and he just handed him $1, and the exact same outcome could have happened, because Nair could have been like, but what if he actually did grant my wish? What did I actually miss? It could have just been a completely mundane conversation.
It could have, yeah.
With the same outcome, so...
Yeah, and even, like, him falling, like, and seeing, like, the guy with red eyes, like, he could just, again, still be part of his psychosis.
Yeah, exactly.
Before he dies. Yeah.
So it's entirely possible that it is all 100% mundane with no devil or
there's that room for that that scenario, like that opinion on that or viewpoint on the story. So
yeah, that's the only note I have left. So
wow.
So how was your day?
I mean, this is not too far from some of our shorter episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is there to say, guys? It was a
Final thoughts?
yeah. I guess final thoughts. I think it's a good plot, and the twist on the wish granting, like it was clever, but like the protagonist actually got duped for being arrogant. Like, yeah, it worked. As far as mini pastas go, I recommend. Like, there's no real issue with the story other than, well, I'm just gonna copy pasta my words. I feel like the only improvement I could offer would be to give it more. There. Yeah, so, like, yeah, I recommend. Mikey.
Yeah. Well, it's short. It doesn't overstay its welcome. My major issue is that it escalates too quickly.
Yeah. Pacing's there's a little bit of a pacing issue there.
Yeah. But, I mean, you could do a lot worse for what you can read, so...
Pretty sure we've read worse.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of pacing yourself and, like, getting your plot across successfully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I recommend this. And I 100% recommend the Canadian version.
Yeah, of course.
With no bias whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm with you there. Yeah, for me, again, short and sweet. I didn't see the twist coming because I thought it was going to be the same way that you thought Cultist.
Yeah.
Where it's like he can only ever have $1 and it like fucks up his life. But yeah, when the murders happened, I thought that he was just imagining doing them, not physically doing them, and then I realized, no, he's actually killing them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I guess one thing is like one thing to pick at this story, and really I'm really just picking at like the wall to try and find some kind of hole.
Mm-hmm.
How does it like I like how he just assumes that there's somebody else in the building, like the floor down or something like that like notified. Notified the police.
Who else would have?
I don't know. Like I don't know. It just seems like I don't know.
Well, I mean the boss could have hit the silent alarm.
That's true. Yeah, it could have. Yeah, or it could have been like the janitor just like happened to see down the aisle. I'm just gonna go down to the next floor and call the cops.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
Or he also assumed that it was like a boss
from another
level down doing the same nefarious things because of his psychosis and everything.
Yeah, that's true.
But that also might be true. Yeah. Whether or not the boss downstairs was also cheating on his wife.
Yeah. Again, like it's just like me picking at it because there's not a whole lot to like. It's kind of pristine in itself. There's just a few scuff marks that you can like look at, but
I wouldn't say it's pristine.
No, not pristine, but I mean, like, there's scuff marks on it. Like, there's scuffs on the story, but like, they're easily wipeable, like wipe-awayable.
You say that, but half, like, what most of us are saying here, if not all of us, is it needs more meat, which means you have to write probably the length of the story doubled. Yeah, would be pretty good for a length to get things fleshed out.
Yeah, fair.
So that's not super easy to do, but yeah, there's ways to make it better. It's not perfect. In my opinion, it should be longer. There should be a longer stay in his insanity before he snaps. Mm-hmm. Like, this first one could have just been him imagining it. Yeah. And then, like, over the span of a few days, he comes up with some plan to actually do it.
Yeah, like, who knows? Like, maybe he does all this, the whole scenario, like flows out like the way it does. He hits the ground, wakes up. Yeah. And it's only Monday. Or like the day after like he got the coin. Like, this is all from like that. So it's like, and then that keeps happening. Like, scenarios like that keep happening over the course of a week, and then that's what drives him like fully insane.
Yeah, and I would like to see the slow burn of him going nuts instead of just instant. Yeah. But that being said, it was still a good story. Yeah, I enjoyed it. So I can't fault it too much. It's just it's not perfect, but nothing is.
Yeah.
So I'll still recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying it's succinct, but sometimes succinct isn't perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But like this, again, we all still recommend the story at the end of the day.
Yeah, I still enjoyed it. It was a quick read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess that's this week's episode. Don't worry, audience. If you think this episode was really short, wait till our 300th episode. Because, oh boy, that one's going to be a long one. But that was this week's episode. If you like what you heard, if you didn't, leave us a comment in the comment section below where this gets posted, whether it be on Podbean, Facebook, YouTube, or Tumblr. You can also talk to us on Twitter. Mikey is at the E stands for evil. Gamer in Yellow is at the Gamer in Yellow, but without the W because his name is too long. I'm at Review Cultist. You can also send us emails at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTIS@gmail.com. Where you can also leave us suggestions for other creepypastas you'd like us to discuss on the show. If you'd like to help support the show, you can go to Patreon. Look up Al Dente Rigamortis and select the backer tier you'd like to support us at. We have $2 and $5 tier with special episodes, early access, extra content, the works. For our patrons that are already helping support the show, thank you guys immensely because you're helping keep those hosting bills at bay. And as always, we very much appreciate that. And to the listeners and the authors of these stories, thank you guys immensely because without you listening to the show, we really wouldn't have much of a show. And without your authorship for your stories, your content, we really wouldn't have much of a show to talk about and dissect and appreciate.
We have nothing to talk about.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So thank you. Also, if you'd like to get our logo on a clock or shower curtains or a t-shirt,
I guess I'll bring up the shower curtains. It's the most ridiculous
a pillow or whatever these little things are that cups go on.
It's coasters.
If
you like our logo, you can have it on things.
You can have it on a bunch of things. Just go to Redbubble and look up Al Dente Rigamortis. We have both the original logo and our new logo. So yeah. Until next. Oh, should we advertise that we have another podcast on our Creepypasta podcast?
Well, you've already brought it up.
All right. We also have another podcast. If you like actual play games, like people around a table playing D&D style RPG tabletop games, you should check out our podcast, One Less Die, which is a Shadowrun and gaming actual play podcast. So we mostly play Shadowrun, but we also have a ton of backlog of games that we play that are not Shadowrun that we're starting to pop in there. So yeah, check out One Less Die if you feel so inclined. Thank you. Until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey. The E stands for evil.
And I'm the Gamer in Yellow.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.
Also, I gotta say, missed opportunity of when we did SCP-096.
I know.
It was on 297.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm so angry.
Are they posted?
Yeah.
Okay, you can't
296 went up this week.
Yeah.